God is good, and all the time. Cabinet Secretaries Fred Matiang'i and my other good friend from the ICT, Joe Mucheru, the gentleman representing PS Interior, Nancy Macharia, CEO of the TSC, our own CEO at KNEC, fellow teachers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by asking the Council of Kenya National Examination Council, the members of Council, can you be upstanding to be, that includes even the most, PS, you should be upstanding. This is the only time I can order you to be upstanding. Thank you very much. And I would also want to appreciate the staff from KNEC that are here, who are the process owners. Can you be upstanding? Thank you very much. And not to forget the directors from the Ministry of Education who are with us everywhere. I can see some of them, and other members of the Ministry of Education, including Nyanchoga, who is seated very comfortably there. Can you be upstanding to be seen? And finally, the center managers, both during the examination process and the marking process. I can see some of them here. Thank you very much. I think you are few because we kind of ambushed you, but thank you very much. You will send the message to the others. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start by saying very clearly that in order to correct a mistake, you first of all must identify that mistake and accept it before you can correct it, isn't it? And for us, I remember when we were cajoled into joining KNEC, we thought we didn't have much to offer, but there was already a diagnosis there, which was examination cheating. And I'm very happy to say that we have dealt with that cheating, and you don't hear about it now. But in the process of dealing with that cheating, we have identified something called early exposure. I'm a doctor, and with all due respect to the other sex, when a lady is in labor, she behaves in a particular manner. And I saw some of my center managers behaving in that manner, very few of them, but they still behaved in that manner, trying to expose papers just before the exam started. And I'm very happy indeed, Honorable Cabinet Secretary, that we are no longer talking about leakage. That is past, and we are talking now about premature exposure. My second point is this. The most significant constant in our process is the child. It is not me, it is not the teacher, it is not the minister, it is the child. Because the child is like a clean slate. That's why even in the Bible, they are going straight to heaven while you are going to the other side. So this child will learn whatever you want the child to learn. And the question I want to ask is, going through our consciousness, because I said we should be truthful to ourselves. Are we giving the child what is duly right to him or her? When you see somebody arguing about time, and I want it to be on record that I differ absolutely with people who say that you should not have performance contracting, because it is only what you plan to do that can get done. And you get it into your house. For example, if you earn 100 shillings, if you don't arrange how you are going to spend that 100 shillings to spread through the month, then you will get hungry before the month is over and your children will die. That is planning. It is performance targeting. And we must do it here, whether anybody likes it or not. If we are going to have a transformative change, a teacher must plan and see, if I have taught my class how to multiply 2 by 2 up to 2 by 12, is the child able to recite it back to me as a building block? So when you say you don't want teachers to go that way, then you are an enemy of education. And it should be on record, because we are teachers. You cannot be an expert more than all the other teachers. All the teachers are the same. Are we together? So in order to move forward, you are supposed to plan your work and carry the child through it, and the child will learn. Because the child, as I said before, is like a clean slate. Our job is not to try and expose the exam for them half an hour before the time. This year's examination, unlike last year's, was set by the staff that you saw standing there, along with other subject experts. They took as long time as they wanted. And Mr. Cabinet Secretary, I'm glad to say that now we have got an item bank. So anybody who has any ideas about what exam is coming, just forget it, teach your children. We have got an item bank, and that process was thorough because the examination was set, moderated, and proofread by them. But the small matter of deciding which one is going to be the next exam, that one, even me, I am not the owner. Mungu ndiye anajua. Tumekubaliana? I don't need to waste a lot of time by going through again the processes that we have now kept. What is worrying me is one thing: how we have to institutionalize what we have put into practice and proved successful. I'm not worried whether children perform bad, moderate, or good, because that is going to come. Like I have told you, you start teaching your children the way you are supposed to teach, they will fly. Because God was very kind, ladies and gentlemen. When he was dishing out intelligence, he did not look for people who have suits and wearing spectacles like me. He gave it to everybody, including the person who are looking after my cows at home, in equal measure. So if you teach, you will see that admixture. But when you only see children from X school whose fathers are driving cars, no, there's a problem. I would like to say without any fear of contradiction, ladies and gentlemen, that you cannot be truthful to somebody. First, you must be truthful to yourself. Second, you must be truthful to your God. Then you can be truthful to somebody else. Secondly, the world is full of choices. I have chosen to be here. Nobody can make me to be. I have chosen, as Professor Magoha, to be here to serve our children. And you remember, there is a lot of pride in serving our children. Most people think if you have a lot of money in the bank, you are happy. But I get happiness, even though I didn't like it. I get a lot of happiness serving children who are poor, because I'm about to go. And God will ask me, when you are there, what did you do? I say, oh, those children, I think I made some difference in their lives. So if you teach children to be untruthful, you are as guilty as them. And Bwana CS, I want to thank you, including His Excellency the President, for allowing us to work without interference, because that is why we have worked. We have been allowed to work without interference from anywhere. And if you teach a child to go and cheat, that child shall be punished. And just to give the example of the 5 that we removed from the examination process before the examination got completed. Now, the teachers who encouraged them to do that, I think I should say shame on you. But having said, sir, that, Mr. CS, I would like to state that, first of all, we did not have hitches with regards to the examination process, with regards to the transportation, storage, and back. And this is because of involvement of certain agencies of government. And I would like to start with the most important constant at that time, who was the center manager. And the great majority of our center managers, you saw several of them removing their shoes and crossing the river with the examination papers on them. So, to all the center managers that made the process possible, I wish on behalf of KNEC and by extension government to thank you for your dedication, because you are telling people that this can be done. And it is at this point that I want to introduce two people. One of them from, first of all, let me go backwards. When I was given the job, I went around Africa quietly, not using KNEC funds, because I thought the job was not for me. One of the places I called was Uganda. I went to South Africa, I went to Nigeria, I went to Ghana, and so on. And I met the Ugandans, but I'm very happy to see that the Uganda National Examination Board sent an observer. And the name is Florence Kapuk Obong. I suspect these are the Jaluos who remained behind. And the other one from the Examination Council of Zambia is Mrs. Munsanka Chikuba. This other one, yeah, you can see the beautiful lady there. This means that we are on track. So for those who believe that a prophet is not known in his home, the foreigners are already seeing, and there were many others who wanted to come and observe, but we said perhaps for this year we just have to. I would want also to go to the government, in particular, the Ministry of ICT headed here by the most humble CS who opened a container at one of the places I was watching before 6 o'clock. He was there somewhere in Kambiamoto. But I'm thanking him because he gave us a battalion of people who are capturing data this time. And when I see us, we did not have any problem with any of those people. Thank you for preparing them, and our thank you should go to them. We then want to thank the Ministry of Interior, who I think is covered well. My actual boss is also the acting boss of the Ministry of Interior, but I only see him as Ministry of Education. So now, sir, we would want to thank the Ministry of Interior, headed by you, along with your peers, for the total commitment of all the agents, including the special agents, but more so the Kenya Defense Forces, for getting us out of the toilet, because there was a time we were unable to move exams in the northern part of Kenya. And I think you picked your phone and spoke to General Mwatete, and before we realized we had military helicopters for several days, and therefore the examination was done on time. We have not taken this for granted, and we wish to thank you, and you should carry our thank you to the Department of Defense. Let me now come to the marking process. You will listen and hear a lot of rumors which are not pleasant. You understand? Ignore them. Because like I have said, we are intelligent people and we plan our work. The marking process of this year started on the 17th of November and went on to the 17th of December. It's only a fool who allows time to fly by without using it. So those papers that were done earlier, instead of people sitting, we said, why don't you go and start the process? And we planned our work. Like I said, nobody can force me to do anything. I have not seen, have I been able to force a teacher to do anything? I doubt. But if you ask me whether I have been able to convince Mr. CS, I have done so, and that's why I'm here. So if we talk as intelligent people, and we convince you to plan your work, and you do your work, and you finish it on time, Let the busybodies who don't work shout as much as they want. We shall ignore them. The fact is the exam was marked and all the processes we have gone through. So some of my staff I'm seeing here are as tired as me. But I want to say that in this room, perhaps I'm the most senior in terms of age. And if I can make it, what the hell are you talking about? So if you focus on what you want to do, we should be able to do it. So the marking process, I don't know how many centers we went to. As you are aware, ladies and gentlemen, we brought the marking centers to our close to Nairobi so that we could be able to see them on a daily basis and monitor. And I want to thank, first of all, the center managers who ran those 25 centers and the chief examiners with whom we had contact. For those who do not know, I only met chief examiners except on one occasion, which was an emergency. And it is the chief examiner who spoke to his people. So if you hear any person talking nonsense, tell the person to go and sleep. Because we engage the chief examiners and tell them, talk to your people. This is what we would want them to do. If it is possible, do it. Is there anything wrong if they have earned their own time and they're now with their wives and husbands at home? Kwani ulikuwa unataka walale wapi? Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I may not be here tomorrow. The minister might not be there tomorrow. You will still be there, the people who are at KNEC. 1% of you are still doing their own things, and we know you, but the majority have been transformed. I can see Mr. Mutisia there, who's a very excellent officer. Just stand up, let me see you again. I can give my life to this guy. And this one who looks like Al-Shabaab, you stand up. That, sir, this guy can work for 40 years. Yes. Yeah, even on your wedding day, please sit down. So my charge to you, as an old Starehian, is to ask you to ensure that if we agree that the child is the most important constant, you must then ensure that the child is given justice by you making sure that even if I was to join my ancestors now, and God forbid, but if I was to join my ancestors now, you don't slip back to the status quo ante. Are we together? I want to finally thank the government of the Republic of Kenya through the connivance of my CS, Fred Matiang'i, and His Excellency the President, who thought that I had something to offer. And I was saying I've never been to this arena, Mimi ni Mutia University, but I'm now so happy that I would feel a little bit denied if I'm told to forget the children. But do you think that is a transformation? Because you can actually see the difference in the children between last year and this year. When we were moving around the country, you find a small child calculating, and even in high school, you find people very busy doing maths. And the rest, I would like to leave for the main process owner and my good friend, CS Fred Matiang'i. Thank you very much.